Hello everyone. 6 minutes 40 and the people who know me well, I need an hour. It's going to be a challenge. All right. What is a good revenue manager? Well, I personally believe this is a tactical question. And whilst most of you would ask, why is this question asked to us, an audience of revenue leaders? I want to share some thoughts with you regarding my experience when recruiting directors or revenue managers. So very specifically. You've probably seen these statements before when building confidence, shall I recruit or not recruit? Sorry. So good understanding of systems, he's an Excel geek, is smart with numbers, has a lot of experience, go for it. He's a good revenue manager. Well, you know, my experience here is a bit puzzled. When you do interviews, you have the classic short list of candidates, one wins the position. I ended up sometimes asking myself, hey, okay, this is not the right candidate for that position at this present time. But why is this person in his current role? I felt like the person was prematurely put in that position or clearly lacked experience. So I felt like, I felt concerned. I felt concerned about the person itself, his team, and the business. So I talked to a few people and I asked, help me design the competencies that are strictly required for that position. So of course, Excel savvy, analytical skills, good potential, clever, RGI growth sometimes, good with systems and with reporting. I love the data crunching part, solid experience with reservations, and of course, knows the tricks of the pricing. Okay, agree. But what if the exact same competencies are required for a business analyst position today? And many of business analysts tick all these boxes. They're all required. So I think the cursor of knowledge needs to be moved a little bit further. So while conducting all these calls, I thought I'm going to put down a few contradictive threads that are all experienced in those calls. And I found out some candidates were extremely talkative, and others, good listeners, a balance between questions and answers. Some are also extremely generic statements instead of being specific. And there you go. I had many of contradictive situations, being confusing or clear, being evasive or convincing, academic, teaching me the job, or being in practical solutions, examples, being detached or curious, being extremely system-centric or having a commercial conversation about the business. And yes, you think maybe being a star player is still a cliche in our industry today, but it's not. You still have, among the RM community, many star players, alone in their office, working alone, not connected well with their teams. So there you go. This is the situation. This is the challenge. Now, I think the most interesting part is to understand the causes, because let's not point the finger to the RM community. The RM is not the culprit. We need to look from an industry perspective at where the candidate is coming from. And when we look at a candidate, we think about the recruiter. And yes, the recruiter is not always the one with the best expertise to recruit a revenue manager. The assessments are also not used all the time. There are gut-feeling interviews, gut-feeling decisions. Company needs are also not sometimes well defined when you recruit, and the motivation of the candidate is sometimes unclear. Internally, when already in operations, The person might not be reporting to the right leader. It still happens. Coaching might be moderate. There are still people that are not yearly appraised. There's a lack of empowerment, and some are in their comfort zone since too long. So this all affects competency. So what are the solutions to consider? One is the recruiter. He's definitely the gatekeeper. Work references, there are many. We should use them more. Internal, external recruitment is the same process. Systematic use of assessments. Competencies need to be reviewed all the time. And fair management is to put the RM in an environment where unconventional ideas, creativity can be evolved or developed. And so my definition, actually the question should be, what are the strategic skills of a competent revenue manager, instead of what is a good revenue manager? And business acumen, influence, leadership, communication, entrepreneur, resiliency, strategic mindset, creative planning, and cognitive abilities with numerical and verbal are all essential. Thank you.